Let us talk about that. That's a very good question. The question is, hey, my north is south and my south is north, and I really would like to flip them around. And no worries. Okay. Where it affects people, most people probably haven't even noticed it, but when you try and do shadows and you turn on the sun and all that, you might notice it. In fact, I was working with someone about just how far your overhangs should be, and the question really comes down to, well, it usually has to do with the issue of shadows and how the shadows are hitting the building and whether you're getting good sun during the wintertime and shading the sun in the summertime. We'll talk more about that. But if you think about this view right here does have some sort of notion of directionality to it. There's these things east, west, north, and south. And the way it's defined is the bottom of the screen. So down here at the bottom, kind of in the 6 o'clock position, that's considered south. 12 o'clock is north, east is over at 3, and west is over here at 9 o'clock. Okay, so that's just considered the project orientation. Now, the project orientation is useful because as we're drawing, as we're modeling, it's often useful to have things line up at a nice, square angles. If you ever start modeling and you model your building at 45s or at some funny angle, it just fights you every step of the way. It likes to sort of do things relatively squared out when you're doing your work. So if you want to go through and fix that and have the proper orientation, here's what you do. Actually, let me show you here in the 3D view. You'll see that there's even this little compass which shows northeast, west, and south. Okay, and currently, this is the south side of my building, back over here. Okay, if you would like to change this orientation, you can rotate your project, and here's how you do that. I'm going to do it on the site plan, because that's a pretty good place to do this. You'll notice that every view we're going to look at has this notion, every plan view has this notion of the orientation. And currently, this is oriented to project north. So, this is just showing how the walls line up relative to our coordinate system. If I change that to true north, okay, so far, not a whole lot happened because right now our true north and our project north are actually together. They're aligned to each other. But if you want to change that orientation, here's where you do it. It's under the Manage tab. There's a choice down here under Position, and you can rotate true north. And how this works is you basically just choose, put down an array of some type, and rotate the building. So if I wanted to rotate it 180 degrees, I could do that. And now what's going to happen is what you didn't move the building. You actually sort of, you moved the sun and the sky. So you have great power doing it that way, but it's going to be a lot easier for you because sometimes when you rotate the building, and we can rotate a building, but sometimes, things get messed up along the way. Things don't rotate so nicely. So the impact of that, just so you know, is if I go back to the 3D view, this is now north as opposed to south. And if I actually turn on the shadows, let's see if I can do this right. Then I can adjust what time of day it is and the sun settings. I'll say that, I'm in Boston, that'll be fine. Let me go for, I'll say it's the middle of summer. Actually, the beginning of summer. That's where the sun's actually the strongest.
So you go to Manage and then
it's under Manage and it's Position, and then rotate true north. And what you're going to find is, and again, don't worry about doing it for this assignment so much, but we can go through and we can play games with the sun. So we can say, what's the sun like at 4? That's 4 in the morning. That's not very good. Let's say 4 in the afternoon. The sun will be over on that side of the building. Or if you really want to feel powerful, just drag the sun in the sky. And you have a whole little heliodon going on there. You can look at the sun during the peak season. You can look at the sun kind of more during the wintertime. And by playing with this little tool, we could actually adjust all the overhangs in the window so we get good sun during the wintertime, heat up the building, and we shade ourselves from the sun during the summertime, kind of like keep that sun out.